Hello, everybody. Welcome. How's it going?
Welcome to the Tuesday night experience. It's an experience to be here with you and me.
You know, I
James
actually,
Shannon, Ultra David. Oh, no.
I think I actually came up with my first name for the show. Maybe we should call it. I think we should call it Level 3 Attack.
That's terrible.
Come on, it's combining the. Okay, never mind.
That's just
all right,
awful.
fine. Be that way. All right. But no, welcome everybody to Ultra Chen TV, and thank you for everybody for tuning in from Wake Up SRK and joining us here at Ultra Chen TV. So
they always have cool conversations over there. Today they had Arturo Sanchez talking about the MLG, which just happened, and also Street Fighter Cross Tekken, and his thoughts on that, and the news that it'll be 2v2 and have no gems at EVO.
Right.
Speaking of Street Fighter Cross Tekken, that's what we're going to be covering today.
Yeah, I mean, for the people who watched us do a little bit of the Street Fighter Cross Tekken commentary at NCR, there definitely was some sarcasm on our part and a lot of disinterest and a little bit of salt, I guess, or anger directed towards the game from us.
So the reason that we went to NorCal Regionals was because it was a vacation from tournaments, basically, right? Like
we went to a tournament to take a vacation.
Basically, that's what we did. Because the way that tournaments happen for us nowadays is we go there and then we wake up at like 9 in the morning and we get to the stream station and we're there until like midnight.
Yep.
And then we don't get to see people or play video games or hang out afterward because we're too tired. So we just kind of, we know that NorCal has good commentators and that they can pretty much handle things. And we just wanted to go up there and hang. We did do a little bit of commentary because it's fun.
Right, of course.
And also just to help out.
Yeah, exactly.
We wanted to help out when the other commentators had stuff to do or whatever. Anyway, we were on Cross Tekken. And yeah, I totally was talking about sandwiches because I got bored. And I kind of apologize for that. But we do want to talk about the game and why it seems like we don't love it and a lot of people don't love it and what we can do as players to improve it.
Right. I mean, right now, I've just been kind of sitting back and looking at the game very closely and noticing that, I honestly think from top to bottom, top players down to beginners, from what we saw at NCR, from what we've been seeing at Wednesday night fights and everything, I think everybody is playing it wrong. Absolutely wrong, and we're playing it the way they've marketed it at us, which is like this cross rush and all these cool switch cancels. And someone actually tweeted me, which I thought was really funny, is that, the worst way to play the game is the way that they want us to play it, which is the fancy combos. And we've all done so hard in other games to eliminate the fancy combos, and I don't feel like people have done that yet. Obviously, it takes some time for a game's lifespan for it to actually go that way.
It's very early.
But
3 weeks.
I feel like we need to start jumping faster because if not, then this game is not going to last long. I mean, let's just face it.
I mean, it definitely could be. I had a lot of conversations with people at NCR about the game and their thoughts on it, and there were a couple of people who were positive, but the vast majority were not. And in talking about how they were playing the game, it was that kind of thing. It was long combos, it was lots of chains, it was lots of knockdowns, and I think that those are all things that we have to start weeding out.
Yeah.
And that'll make it, I think, a better game to play, a more interesting game to play. I think it opens up more strategy, and I think that it's fun or more fun to watch.
Yeah. And it's really funny. A lot of people that I talked to there, when I asked them what they thought about Cross Tekken, literally the response is, I'm going to go learn King of Fighters.
A lot of people said that. So,
I'm not trying to take people away from King of Fighters. I want them all to learn. In fact, me and you have talked about just sitting down and actually learning the game.
I started that literally when I got home from NCR last night. I was in training mode and on dreamcancel.com like the whole night. So.
Nice. Yeah. So, let's just talk about like the different areas that I feel like are going to change if we want to play this game correctly. And, the first area that I honestly want to tackle is meter management.
Well, I want to preface this by saying that this is just my ideas.
Yes.
And we have the technology to like break games down. We've been doing this for a while. So this is our view. It's not necessarily the right view. We could be wrong. And in fact, Ryan Hunter told me that he's going to be doing a show on Option Select on Thursday all about this. And when I said, oh, cool, we're going to be doing the same thing tonight, here are our ideas. And he said, you are totally wrong. So, I don't know. He didn't say what his ideas were, but like I said, this is just our view. Maybe we're wrong. Just, accept it as what it is, just some opinions.
I think that's perfect, though. I want everybody to take the things that we even say today and just be straight up like, you guys are crazy. This is how you should play it. These are our ideas. We're all in the same boat trying to make this game a stronger game, trying to prevent the dreaded timeout. Because let's face it, that is the number one problem with the game. And some people were even saying that even though at NCR there wasn't that many timeouts, there weren't physical timeouts, but so many rounds the timer came into play where the player just had to play the worst offense in the world.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I don't think that timeout is the problem. I think it's a symptom of the problems that the game has. It's just the game that we're playing it right now leads to time being a factor at 40, 50 seconds on the clock. And part of that is the game engine, and part of it is our own fault. So we're going to be talking about what we think can be done to make things better.
All right, let me get to some game footage.
Yeah, we got the game footage. We'll have that up for you in just a second as James gets it on there. Ooh, almost a countdown.
Oh, there we go.
Yes.
All right, so here we go. So the first thing that I want to talk about today is meter management, because I feel like a lot of players are using the meter absolutely incorrectly in this game. There's just... the meter's too valuable. It's so it's interesting because one of the things that people say that is a good quality about Mortal Kombat is the meter management.
I like the meter in that game a lot.
And you know what? Strangely enough, in this game, I feel like it's every bit as important and tactical to use it. And I don't think anybody's using it. I can just give a first example. I don't think enough people are using Alpha Counter and the Switch Cancel.
So good.
You could think of that as using it as a combo breaker in Mortal Kombat. Instead of getting hit and using it, you're using it while you're blocking, because the offense, this thing right here, is too good, right? So we're going to have to learn how to use Alpha Counter and the Switch Cancel. And the one thing that I kind of want to get people thinking about meter is the potential damage that you get out of it. So... let's just think about what the rawest usage of meter is. It's either going to be an EX uppercut, right? Okay. Look at that. It's 200 damage that I just got off of 1 meter.
It's pretty beefy.
Right? If I do a super, everyone does about 300 damage.
Yeah.
And, of course, the team super, which I'm not going to do because it's going to take forever. All right, fine.
You can just talk while it's happening for the next 20 seconds.
Every team super is about 400 damage, right? So it's about 100 plus 300 every single time. So in general, if you think about that, on all 3 levels, 1 bar either warranted me 200 damage, 150 damage, or about 133 damage.
Okay.
Right? At different uses.
Just like divided in terms of, it took 3 bars to get 400 damage, so it's about 133.
Right, exactly. So let's take a look at this combo with Ryu here, right? I'm just gonna do this. Right? So that was about 308 damage. In fact, I'm gonna even try to do it a little bit better here. Here we go, because I messed up my plinking.
Oh, you got the jab, yeah.
There we go.
Oh, okay,
so 349 damage I just did there off of 2 meters, right? Now I'm going to do this combo here. $324 damage.
What was the previous one?
I switch canceled my flash kick into Ryu Fierce Uppercut.
And then how much damage did that get you?
That got me 340 something damage.
So it got you about 20 extra damage.
My jab does 30 damage. So on that switch cancel right there.
And it builds meter.
And it builds, and that combo builds meter. So on that switch cancel there, I warranted myself less than a standing jab's worth of damage. So we really have to think about using our meter in that situation. Like, we just can't use meter in that situation because we are completely hurting our damage. We are completely hurting our ability to escape out of things. You know, I mean, even I've talked about it before. Cross rush is kind of a good way to escape things. And, you know, just talking about cross rush in general, I want to try your strategy of doing cross rush and wasting meter away. So
okay, look at the life bar. I'm sorry, look at the meter bar as cross rush is happening, right? So it's draining. Now notice that it actually goes a little bit faster when you do EX moves.
Right.
A little bit faster.
And let's see how fast it goes if I do supers, actually. Whoops, I did the wrong thing. Sorry.
Wrong direction.
So if I do super,
immediately
it just goes
down
away.
Yeah, right. So the reason to do this, the reason to do cross assault really, is just because it evens up your two characters' lives. They end up with the exact same amount of regular and recoverable life.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have one character that has 900 out of 1,000 life, and the other one has 100, that sucks because the one if the one that has 100 is in, you might almost be boned.
Right.
It'd be much better to just end up with 500 per person. So you can do this, but then the unfortunate thing is that you have this crappy. Look at this, Ryu. What are you doing? What are you doing there?
And he's gonna eat damage
exactly.
all day.
He takes damage while he's out if he gets hit. So you'd much rather it just end if you can make it end as quickly as possible. That's really good. It's also I found out from somebody at NCR who used this trick on Alex Valle that it's 0 frame after activated. Zangief Super is also 0 frame after activation. So you can do cross rush, Zangief Super, and then it can't jump out.
Right. Like stand right next to him and just be like cross rush and then Zangief Super and then you're good. Yeah.
So anyway, this is one of the ways to use your meter, basically to give your point character extra life, and to use your fake meter during cross assault to
end it as fast because it's
possible.
Useless.
Yeah, get back to regular fighting.
It's absolutely useless. And you know what?
At least in 1v1.
Yeah, and if you actually hit him too, for example, like let's say I'm Guile and I do this and I go low short, low forward, and then super. I get good damage. I get a free super, get out of there. So
that was actually more damage than the level 3 super.
Yeah, it really was.
That was pretty cool. I didn't even know that.
Wow. Okay.
Actually, that's kind of cool to remember.
Do you get a damage boost in cross assault? Because that made
wait no just do flash kick.
Yeah,
just go to flash kick.
Yeah, because the flash kick is 120. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so. Okay, that's just an example of why you'd want to save meter.
Right.
We're just talking about trying to save as much meter as possible because spending meter is bad. Spending meter is very bad in this game.
So, basically the point that you want to get across is that people are doing really poor combos, and they're not getting as much bang for their meter as they should be, as they could be. Mm-hmm. They're just doing it because they expect that it's doing more damage and it looks cool and whatever.
There's also some people who say, "Oh, it's for corner positioning and stuff like that."
I was going to bring that up. Right. Mm-hmm. So there are combos in this game that are important for that. If you're switch canceling into Ryu to get Stand Fierce into Dragon Punch, you're not really maximizing that.
Right.
If you were to get the Hurricane Kick, I mean that might be a better option.
Right. But to be honest with you, corner position doesn't matter as much in this game.
That's true. I mean, it can be. So you're talking about because of roll, because of stand versus roll.
Exactly.
The corner pressure is not necessarily as good in this game as it has been in other games.
Yeah, it's very easy to get out. So
right. I mean, there are things that a lot of characters can do to get around that. Right. You can jump into the corner just before the roll has to start.
That's right.
And then they'll roll themselves back into the corner, and then you can still kind of get pressure.
Right.
So cornering, I think, is still pretty good. It's just you have to consider this on the fly. Is it worth? Do you first of all, do you have a combo that brings the opponent to the corner? Mm-hmm. Second of all, is it important enough to you to spend one of your 3 bars to get that corner position? Are you going to get enough out of that? And I guess really what I want to introduce is the concept of maximizing expected damage.
Yes.
Rather than just maximizing damage.
Right. And plus another thing too is, I mean, I just did that whole long combo earlier you saw with Guile and all that stuff like that. And honestly, if I just kind of go like, whoops, okay, so I can't do that one. So if I just do this, which takes 2 meters, I just did 403 damage for the same amount of meter. So this is why another reason why you don't want to spend all that meter, because hit confirming right into a super does way more damage than going into any sort of crazy switch cancel.
And almost as importantly, that took like 2 seconds. Seriously. I mean, seriously. That only took a couple of seconds. If your team is designed to pressure the opponent, that you want to be on the opponent or whatever, or you want to have a particular spot on screen, it's really important that you not waste time.
Yeah.
If you have a team that is like all about keep away or run away, then it makes sense to waste more time. But if instead you want to get in there, 2 seconds versus whatever, I don't know how long the previous combo took, maybe like 7 seconds is my guess, 6 seconds. That could be pretty important in this game. And in this game where timeouts happen so often, and where just thinking about the timer starts to come in at 40 to 50 seconds, what you really got to do instead is start thinking about the timer at 99 seconds and start planning ahead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so one of the keys, I think, to maximizing damage, which we'll get into right after this break, is manual launcher. I think this is going to be one of the biggest keys to maximizing damage. And so I want to talk about this in a little bit. But before we do that, let's take a quick break, and we will be right back. I'm going to use the old Ultra Chen. There we go. Yeah. Okay.
Hello, welcome back to Ultra Chen TV strategy analysis.
Exactly.
Esports.
That's right. So
I think it's again whoever made that slide. I think it's hilarious that there's esports on there.
yeah, I know.
Trolling all day.
Exactly. That's why you're known as Ultroll David.
You know
right?
it.
So.
All right. So anyway, we're talking about Street Fighter Cross Tekken today and how we think that the game should be played. Mm-hmm. No, we don't win tournaments. But,
no.
That doesn't necessarily mean that we can't think about
those
the game.
who can't do teach. That's the way it always works, right?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I don't know. I don't want to complain too much, but the reason that I'm not doing well is not necessarily because of brain power.
Yeah, I know. I have no excuse.
So, yeah. Anyway,
I'm just asked now.
yeah.
But before we went on break, what I was talking about is the use of manual launcher. And I feel like this is going to be such a big factor in our ability to play this game properly. So I'm going to go to Ryu here. And what I was trying to do before break was a very common hit confirm combo like that, right? Now, the biggest problem with this combo here is, if you notice, a standing medium is 60 damage, right? But a cross-assaulted stand jab is only 42 damage.
Stand strong, you mean?
Yeah, stand strong.
Right.
So stand strong, you see 60 damage there. You probably can't see it because the text is really small on the screen, so you have to take my word for it.
Yeah.
And the next one is 42 damage. And same thing with a hard punch. Hard punch is 90, but if I cross-rush into it, it's 63. So I'm already losing a lot of damage, on top of the fact that I've just jabbed you a bunch of times.
Right, so the way that the damage scaling works in this game is just like how it worked in Street Fighter 4, which is to say that the first two moves, chain or boost combos aside, the formula is just the first two moves deal 100% damage, the third then deals 80%, then the fourth is 70%, the fifth is 60%, all the way down until you reach 10%, which is where it bottoms out.
Right.
So that means that if you have a combo that starts with like 3 or 4 jabs like that, you're wasting the most damaging individual hits on the least damaging individual hits, if that makes sense. The most damaging potential is wasted on the least damaging individual hits.
Yep. You see that the last hit, the launcher did 25 damage.
Right.
Because it was dropped down to 50 damage. Now, what you're going to find out about most cross-rush combos is that after a cross-rush, you get a lot of beefy hits here. But if you've damage reduced it down to nothing, so if I do this, I mean, look at this, 40%, 30, 20.
Wow.
Oops, I just dropped it in my...
That's good.
Okay.
Right.
So
wow, that was 7 damage? Oh my god.
10% from my flash kick there.
That's so terrible.
And remember, when I did it without the combo ahead of time, it was 120 damage.
Right, yeah.
So I have literally just completely annihilated the damage on my flash kick.
I honestly didn't think it was going to be that bad.
So what people are going to have to learn to do, I mean, here's the thing, right? When we played Street Fighter, what did we do? We did low jab, low strong into fireball, stuff like that. We have to get back into this mindset. But remember, the beefy damage comes from our tag. So if we do low jab, low strong into fireball, we're not really getting...
You only get 157 in a game where basically any touch should be a minimum of 300 to 400 damage.
Right. So let me do my original combo here again. Let's see how much damage it does total. So here we go. That's 230 damage, right?
Yep.
The tricky part is that any normal move on any hit, with a few caveats that I'm not going to get into right now because it's not that important, but any normal move can be canceled into a launcher manually by hitting Fierce and Roundhouse. Right. So even though I can't mash Fierce and get the launcher, I can Fierce and manual launcher in there, right? So instead of doing low jab, low strong fireball, which I just missed there, like that, we can actually do low jab, or low forward fireball. Let's do that one instead. I can actually, because I'm actually really glad last week I went over hit confirms, because the reason why we start combos with jabs is to hit confirm. Right. So even though we can link off of low strong into low forward, we cannot link off of a cross rush low strong because it has more delay. So in other words, I'm not going to be able to combo off of that. So all of us go low jab, low strong into fireball.
Right. And we're talking about practical combos too. We're not trying to start combos with like jump Fierce into Fierce, right? Like that's,
right.
That's not really practical for the most part.
Right. So if I'm going to sit here and do low jab, and then I want to hit confirm into something, the best thing to actually hit confirm into is low forward canceled into manual launcher.
So in just that little series, you did 143, whereas doing the thing into fireball was like 130 or 127 or something like that.
Like that, right? So that's 157 here. But that's the end of my combo.
Right.
And when I do this, when I do this combo right here, remember, I got 237 damage total. I'm going to do that exact same combo, skipping that whole cross rush.
Hey, you know what? Can you turn off infinite meter? Because I kind of want to show people that this is building a lot more meter too.
Okay. Good idea.
Now you got to press RB or LB, whatever.
Player settings, cross gauge, normal. Let us restart. Well, I need to drain all my meters so I can do it like this.
Haha.
Yeah.
Take that. Ryu's coming at you, pressing medium kicks.
Wow, I only had one bar and I can still super.
Yeah, during the time you can
super
do it.
as many times as you want. Okay.
Yeah.
So here we go. I'm going to do the same combo here, but I'm going to skip most of the cross rush. I'm just going to do low jab, low forward into launcher.
Okay.
Oops, I messed up. I did low short. Let's do that one more time.
Okay.
I just did 254 damage.
Right.
Right? And I built half of my meter there, right? Whereas the other combo that I did, which was this crazy thing here, 220. Right. So I actually did 30 more damage in that sequence there, right? Doesn't seem like a lot, but, you know, here, let me show you an example. Let's say an opponent, you know, tag cancels in or something and you want to hit confirm off of a jump attack.
Okay.
You can actually hit confirm one low jab into launcher there, right? And now if I do that, now I get 363 damage.
Dang. And that really shows you how important it is to try to deal your big hits early on, right?
Right.
A jab versus a crouching fierce. That's the only difference in that combo.
Right. So I'm going to do the same thing with that crazy little cross rush in there, and it was 300 damage now. So we need to start using manual launchers. And one of the examples that I really wanted to show is with Cammy, of course.
Okay. Obviously, you're your main character in this game
Yeah,
and basically every game.
Yeah, pretty much. Although I'm honestly thinking about dropping her in this game because I don't think she's good in this game at all. So I think she's going to turn out to be one of the worst characters in the game. But
You know, the other thing about using that launcher real soon like that is that it shaves about a second off of your combo in game time terms.
right.
And I don't want people to think that that's nothing. That I'm serious. Like this is a game that's going to be like I feel like it's going to be like the end of a basketball game, where if you get an extra 0.2 seconds on the clock, versus if it's 0.3 seconds versus 0.5 seconds, that means that you can shoot or not shoot.
Right.
And that basically means that you can win or not win. And if in this game you get 4 to 5 combo opportunities and you get to save 5 seconds doing it, I mean, that really can make a difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
It really can.
There was one match that I just saw where someone landed a team super to do as much damage as possible, and after this team super finished, there was 1 second left on the clock, so there's literally no way he could do any more damage. It was the only thing he could have done, but he couldn't have done anything else afterwards.
Hey, man, if he had saved those 4 to 5 seconds, maybe he would have had one opportunity, you know?
Right. So, I mean, the one thing about this game here with these manual launchers is that you have to remember you can cancel moves that are normally not cancelable. And this is really important here for a character like Cammy. You're going to low jab or hit confirm stand jab a lot with Cammy.
Yeah, for sure.
One of my biggest complaints is that when you do this too much, you're not getting any damage anymore. And, you know, if you just sit there and cross rush after a jab like this, oops, that's the other problem with Cammy right there. So, you know, look at that. I'm already at 50% damage by the time I get to Chun-Li, right? So other people have talked about just, you know, doing stuff like this, but that ends your combo, et cetera, et cetera. If you want to switch into your other character, what can you do? So, you know, obviously I can go jab, jab, jab into manual launcher or something like that. But what makes Cammy really nice is that her low fierce is super fast. So I can go jab, jab, low fierce, manual launcher, and now I get 293 damage off of 2 stand jabs, right? With no meter, by the way. So I just did a third average damage with no meter. But if I did, you know, this standard combo here, and then I do that same thing, I got 242. I've lost 50 damage.
That's a lot of damage to lose. It is, yeah.
Yeah. So this is one of those things that I just feel like people have to start learning to do. Obviously, there's going to be distances, just like right there. You saw me miss that low fierce. You know, that's one of the problems. And why am I doing? I'm so obsessed with manual launchers. I'm doing it too fast. So people are going to have to learn how to hit confirm into these combos. I mean, any Cammy player from Street Fighter 4, you know, they knew about this combo in Street Fighter in 2012, but there really wasn't much you could do after low jab, low fierce. But in this game, you know, that's really potent to hit confirm into. So, you know, I just think it's super important that we start learning how to do these manual launcher combos. Another one, for example, I've seen Cammies do this. They do roundhouse, fierce, jab strong, fierce, launcher like that. And even in that combo right here, you're actually better off canceling jab straight into launcher. You will get more damage by canceling jab straight into launcher than you will if you do the whole cross rush. I actually tested it last night. So, because if I do this, whoops, let's just say boom, oh God. So I'm doing okay.
Oh, you know what? It's too far.
I can do it, but
I'm
just not used to the timing right now. And I can't blame lag anymore because there is
we got
lag.
this fanciness now.
So that was 350 damage, and even though it's not going to do much more, it's 360. So I got 10 more damage.
That's cool.
Right? So again, you know, you are hurting yourself into doing these longer combos, especially if you start learning how to actually properly do, you know, combos into supers. Right? If you want a combo into super, you want that super to do as much damage as possible. So instead of doing this kind of hit confirm with Chun-Li, right? I'm actually better off doing this kind of hit confirm with Chun-Li. Whoops.
Right. Yeah. Fewer.
And then into super.
I don't
have meter for that anymore. Right.
Get the point.
But you get the idea there. So that's I just think that people really need to start evaluating the use of cross rush. And in fact, I would say unless you are hit confirming off of that, you should never do a cross rush combo. Like never. Even
the whole boost.
Yeah.
The boost chain thing, yeah.
I think by the end of the game's life cycle, we will be seeing almost none of those.
Yeah, I totally agree. They really decrease the damage. They take too long, yeah.
Right. So even if, let's say I just do this combo right here like that, right? Let's just say someone misses an uppercut and I walk up to them and standing jab combo them. So that's 275 damage right there. If they miss an uppercut and I just do fierce into launch right there, it's 313 damage. So even when they miss an uppercut, it's useless to do a cross rush. You're just better off walking up to them and just doing fierce into launch.
Right.
You know, I mean, that's just what it is. So honestly, we all need to stop using cross rush as much as humanly possible. I honestly just believe that.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I feel like this game is like squeezing the juice out of a rock.
Yeah.
Like, you got to get everything. And regardless of what Capcom can... Like, I saw somebody in the chat saying, you know what, they just need to fix the timer to make it be like the Marvel timer, which is really long. It takes a lot more time to go down. That's not really the issue. It's not really the issue that there have been timeouts or that the timer seems to move quickly or even that the timer runs during cinematic supers. I mean, it'd be nice if it didn't, but that's not really the issue. The issue is really that people are not maximizing their damage and they're letting seconds run away that they could otherwise have.
Right.
So you got to make sure that you're doing the best that you can in terms of expected damage. You know, getting back to the situation where you can hit the opponent again as soon as possible.
Right. And one thing I also want to remind everyone is that, oops, did I pick Abel?
Yes.
I meant to pick Guile. But one thing people also have to remember is there are no rounds in Marvel. So if it ran just as long, we would have 3 rounds of Marvel in a row potentially. And that's not going to happen.
That'd be crazy.
That is not going to happen.
That would be crazy.
Then that would overtake CVS2 as the longest tournament fighting game in the history of fighting games.
For sure.
So, yeah. But one other thing that I want to mention before we get into the next subject is, again, saving your meter, using manual launchers, because a lot of people are very accustomed to just doing combos. So here's the thing. If you're juggling, switch cancel. If you are hitting them on the ground, try not to do switch cancels unless you've got like a spinning bird kick or
particular setup.
Right, a particular setup. So here's a standard combo that people like to do, for example, with Guile, right? Right? Okay, nice. 427 damage. Good combo there. Good combo. Sure. Good damage, right?
Sure.
But it took me a meter. So it cost me a meter to do that, right? What happens... What I did was jump roundhouse, low strong, canceled in the flash kick, switch cancel right there, right? I actually don't even need to do that. What if I did jump roundhouse, low strong, manual launcher? Gets me the same combo there. So I've lost 25 damage on
remember,
that.
if you do crouching strong, stand fierce to launch. I think that.
That's right. I could even do more than that, right? So I can do crouching strong, fierce into launch.
Right.
Whoops. Oh. So let's do that again. $406 damage. So now I'm losing 21 damage on that as opposed to 25. So in other words,
not spending a bar.
And I did not spend a bar, and I spent the whole time building it.
Right.
So again, I have spent a bar to get less than 30 damage, which is less than a jab.
Right, but it's not really a bar. It's a bar plus whatever that combo that you just did builds.
Right.
Which I don't know what it is because there was infinite meter on, but it was a third of a bar. I mean, I don't know, half a bar, something like that.
Right.
Like it was something that's more than just the cost of the bar itself.
Mm-hmm. And what this allows you to do is just to save that meter for something else.
Yeah.
That meter is so important. And so again, obviously, if I've already, so I had the Guile combo, right? So let's say I'm doing a desperation uppercut and then I do this. I have no choice but to switch cancel off of the flash kick because launchers can't juggle.
Right.
Right. So in this situation, Okay, I can kind of understand you using the meter there to do the damage because you've already just started with this, right?
Yeah, just because you had to. That was the situation.
Right. See, because manual launcher's not gonna hurt a hit. So if you're juggling, switch cancel. If you're not juggling, try not to switch cancel. Pop them up with, don't do this into switch cancel there with Ryu. Do jump, roundhouse, fierce, manual launcher, and then go for your crazy combo, So, I mean, again, it's not a huge amount of damage, but you're saving a lot of meter. You might even be losing a little damage, but that meter is so important because, are you still human right now?
Actually, I don't know.
Because I think this game resets it for some strange reason.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Right, so...
Let me press start on my pad. Yeah, so I don't know. What do you want me to do that I'm going to screw up?
Just do low forward on me. I got to try to... I don't even have to do that because I'm Guile.
Yeah, you're Guile. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Oops.
Right. Oh, you got toward fierce.
Let's go to the... Actually, let me go the other way. I want to do it into Guile like this. Ready?
1, 2, 3.
Oh, he gets launched.
Yeah.
Because it's a bad one. Okay, let's just do it one more time.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. All right. By the way, you just press medium punches.
Right.
All right, 1, 2, 3. Right, there you go.
So that damage right there, if you look, was 327 damage. That was 327 damage, and I used 2 meters for that. That's more than a super. That's more than the super. And we are using meter to do 25 damage right now.
Yeah, and that it wasn't just that did 327. It was that I was trying to pressure you, and as Guile, who can play defensively.
Do it again. 1,
2, 3. Yeah.
Whoops, one more time.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
I just did 309. I almost did as much damage as an entire team super off of an alpha counter.
Yeah, because you were pressuring. Because I was pressuring you.
Exactly. We are not using alpha counter to switch cancel enough. Yeah. So stop using your meter for 25 damage. And save your meter for that situation right there.
Yeah.
And
okay. So I guess we'll take a break, and when I come back, I'll be talking about another way to use meter that I think is really, really strong, and that's switch canceling for the purposes of resets.
Potential damage, right? Okay, we'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Are you beating up on Dalsum?
I just did random select, so whatever.
Gotcha.
Okay, so what I want to talk about is knockdowns in this game. I think that knockdowns are terrible.
Yes.
Well, let me show you what happens.
Turn me to human.
I'll turn you to human. RB.
One more.
Wait, how do I...
Back out.
Back out?
Yeah. There you go.
Okay, there you go. Okay, so cool. When I knock you down, in this game you have a ton of options. Well, really 2, but they're just really, really good.
Right.
You either have just stand.
Oops, sorry.
Okay, it's fine. Just stand. Blah. Okay, this is the normal type. Or you can do this. Or you can roll. Right?
Oh, God, I'm using the pad.
There you go. Even after that happens, you can do things like backdash or reversal. In fact, we tested it because it doesn't... it doesn't say reversal after you do a roll if you do a reversal, but in fact you can do a reversal. We did some extensive testing on that just to make sure. And that means that when you wake up after a roll, you have exactly the same options that you do after a normal stand, with invincible special moves, with backdash,
with Akuma's teleport.
With teleport, right?
Forward roll into Akuma, back teleport is, I think, the lamest thing in this game.
Right. So actually, it's good. It's good that I got Dalsum.
Right.
Because Dalsum is a zoning character who wants to stay away. Mm-hmm. Like, here I am as Law, and you're Sim. You're pressing your awesome buttons, right?
I have
like
to hold
you have to hold
forward,
forward,
right?
Uh-huh. And you know, everybody has trouble doing that, getting through this to some extent.
Right.
And this whole time, you're spending time, you're whittling my life away. This sucks for me. Mm-hmm. I really don't like this. Now I get in. I'm finally in here, and I do some whole fancy Law combo that does 400 damage, 500 damage even on switch cancels. Right. Well, now we're in this situation.
Oops, I can't teleport on the pad. But
okay, it's cool.
it's 3 kicks, right?
It's 3 kicks.
Okay,
Yeah.
not 2
that's right.
kicks.
You're on pad.
Not 2 kicks.
No.
Okay.
Okay. Right. So here we go. I think you're gonna do. Oh, I guessed wrong. Right. So I thought you were gonna stand there, and that I was going for a cross up, and I guessed wrong. I can do other things about this. I can just stand in the middle and like pressure you, right?
Right.
But that means that I don't get access to this really, really strong cross up. Look at this thing. This thing's really good for Law. It's like really ambiguous. Sometimes he lands on the other side when you don't think he's gonna. It's like it's really strong. So if I can, I want to be in a situation where you can't get away. Mm-hmm. Once I'm in, you're going to have a hard time getting away, right? Knockdowns allow you to get away much more easily than if you are not knocked down. So one of the first things I did in this game is look for resets out of the air, right? Like a combo. Yeah, it doesn't exist, right? So like after this. Oh, wait, sorry. After this, right? So like I was looking for different ways to like knock you down. Like, oh, maybe I can reset them on their feet in some way. Like you just can't. It's just not there in this game. Once you get knocked up into the air, everything knocks you down to the ground, and you get access to roll or stand. And that means that you get access to going back to whatever is your preferred situation. It causes me to lose my preferred situation. You can run out the clock. It's harder for me to get in. You know, it's a bad look. So instead, I want to look for moves that keep the opponent standing.
Right.
And the reason I want to do that is that I want to go for resets.
It's kind of interesting because I'm just starting to detect these parallels with Mortal Kombat.
Totally. That was the first thing I thought about. That was the first thing I thought about. Because so in Mortal Kombat, if you knock the opponent down, they get access to reversal moves that they don't otherwise have that add invincibility to their specials. And so you don't want to knock people down. You want to have something like Cabal has, which is like after a big juggle combo, he can just knee you, and now you're just on the ground standing, and you don't have access to those good reversals.
And Johnny Cage the nut punch,
right? So a bunch of characters have that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's not in this game again. So instead, I want to go for resets that involve not knocking down the opponent. And this brings in the concept of expected damage. Mm-hmm. So I can do this whole big damaging combo, right, with... Oh, dope. This is going to be really embarrassing as I try to press buttons on you. Right, okay, so that was almost 500 damage, and it didn't knock down. Mm-hmm. I can do other things that will result in me ending up like this, right? Everybody's seeing like the whole Hugo combo. You end up like
slab and
okay. That's an extra damage meter for no reason. It knocks down. That ends up doing more damage than if I just do that standing combo that I did before. Mm-hmm. But you got to think about the expected damage. If that standing combo does 482 and I can do 550 or even 600, which I can with some characters with Hugo if I switch into them, I can expect to get, if I do that knockdown combo, I expect to get exactly what I get. I get 600 damage, right? That's all. But if instead I end like this, right? So now like Law is in your face. Well, that wasn't supposed to be a combo, but now, now Law is in your face, and I have a pretty good chance of hitting you again. In fact, with certain setups, I have a 100% chance of hitting you again, basically. But oh god, it's not. I'm trying to
doing it too fast.
I'm doing it too fast.
Let me get further away from the corner.
Okay, yeah.
There you go.
Freaking holy crap.
You comboed it again. You just want to do combos. I know you're a combo maniac, David.
Okay, well, this is just embarrassing. Okay, there you go. Okay.
There you go.
So what it results in, ideally, but I just don't have the hands for it right now, unfortunately, is that you end up like this, right? Imagine Hugo is like right here, right? Still hitting you, still slapping you around, and I come in with Law, and I can do this, I can do a high, or I can do a low, or I can do not a cross-up, or I can do a cross-up.
Right.
And that's pretty serious because each one of those results in the exact same thing, right? So so the reason that I have Law Hugo is that these are two characters that have pretty good standing-only combos. Right? And they both result in really ambiguous cross-ups. So each time I have one of these characters in, I expect that they'll do 300 to 400 damage, and then I get a switch cancel into a reset, which if it hits, I expect to do about 300 to 400 damage. So think about the expected damage in this. Either I can just do a straight like 500 damage or 600 damage, or I can expect to do about 800 damage if I guess right. If I don't, I get 400 damage, but you're still right in my face. Or I'm still right in your face.
Right.
So that's... Even though in this situation, Hugo's just such a damaging character, it evens out about a bit if it's 50-50 on the chances, but I'm still right here. And I still get to do awesome things like my cool command grab mix-ups and like, a high or a low.
Right.
Or all sorts of good things like that.
Right. Again, you're using the switch cancel so you're sacrificing like 600 damage.
I'm sacrificing like 100. Oh, okay. Because
let's just say that you're successful in your mix-up and you do two combos of 400 damage.
Right.
You've used 1 meter on that switch cancel to do 200 damage essentially, and that has increased. I mean, actually, you would have used that meter in a switch cancel combo anyway and did like 600 damage.
Right.
Whereas now you've used the meter and you've gained an extra 200 damage because of your potential output.
Exactly.
Right.
So this is kind of a way to maximize your expected damage, which is what I think this game is all about. In some games, you just want to straight up... the way to maximize expected damage is just to go for the kill. So like in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, a lot of characters can just get 100% damage combos against almost all the casts, some against all of the casts.
Right.
There are other games where it's not so much like that. So like in Marvel 2, you wanted to go for resets more often because... Most of the characters, most of the teams didn't have 100% damage.
And there's that weird flippy thing at 50 hits or whatever.
Yeah. So you wanted to go for more resets. The way to maximize expected damage in that game was to go for resets. I really feel like this game is also like that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this game is designed so that almost everything knocks down.
Right.
Most specials in this game that you combo into and most strings in this game knock down. And that means you're kind of limited to certain characters. You're limited to characters that can set up resets, that can take advantage of resets well, and that don't really knock down during their combos while still doing reasonable amount of damage. And there aren't a ton of those, but I really feel like those are going to be some of the strongest characters.
Right. You were even saying that you originally had a Law Julia team where it almost felt like that Julia cross-up was like hard to block, right?
Yeah, okay. So I guess I'll show that. Law Hugo, the Hugo splash, I don't think it's Street Fighter 4 unblockable, by which I mean not really unblockable. It's a cross-up that you have to block with 1 frame timing.
Right.
It's a hard to blockable. It's not really unblockable. So the Hugo is not like that. You just got to guess which side I'm going to be on. But the Julia, I think is. And it's kind of weird in this game because... After a lot of testing, I feel like sometimes I can block it and sometimes not, even if I set the dummy to
record
and just do the same thing over and over. I'm not really sure what the difference is each time, but it feels like it's a Street Fighter 4 unblockable at least some of the time. And that means that this is not really a reset. It's like an uncombo,
right?
Which is a concept from like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
It's the idea that even though the combo counter doesn't say that it's still a combo, it is pretty much is, right? So let's... Right? Like, any idea which side that one hit on?
No, I have no
I don't know.
It might even just depend on the timing that you're hitting the button, too.
Oh, for sure it does. Okay. It's so hard to almost, like... Right, you got to just barely not make it a combo.
Right. There it was, right there.
So I don't know which side that's hitting.
Yeah.
And the weird thing is that with Julia... like I want to be going into this chain, right, which requires toward medium kick. So I have to do
Right.
things like land, crouching jab, crouching fierce to make sure like I'm on the right side,
Right.
and then do the whole canceling thing, blah blah blah, and the party crasher, whatever. It's a whole series. But the point is that you're basically doing an uncombo.
Right, and you're getting a crap ton of damage.
You're getting a crap ton of damage as well. Because the full Law combo is going to do about 350, and then the full Julia combo does about 350 too.
Right.
And that results in this kind of situation where you have Law coming in, and again he has the high into the combo, which you can set up into big damage, or he has the low. Even if you don't want to do like the whole cross up, whoa, I landed and did the low instead, right? Like there's this whole set of crazy mix-ups that you can play.
I was even trying one with Chun-Li Cammy. I would do low jab, low fierce into medium spinning bird kick. Switch cancel Cammy in there. I could delay it a little bit, get jump roundhouse, stand roundhouse. And then I would go for either cross up short or dive kick from the front or do all sorts of crazy mix-ups. Maybe even combo the dive kick and then uncombo another stand roundhouse to get a jump cancel, go for a mix-up and such, So, yeah, I was experimenting with that as well.
Yeah, it's really, really strong. But it's not something that you're really seeing right now. Instead, you're seeing people like you see Combo Fiend. I talk with Combo Fiend about this, right? So you see Combo Fiend do combos that end up like this,
Right.
which can result in significant damage. It's just that look at the positioning that Julia has afterward. It's ass, and she doesn't want to be here.
No,
this is not her character. She wants to be at a maximum in footsie range where you can do things like this.
Right.
But she really wants to be up here doing counter hit setups and crazy crap like that and crossing up with who knows where this thing's hitting, right? So that's what she wants to be, and you have to try to play her to maximize that positioning, because by positioning, you're going to get a better expected damage.
And if you really honestly think about this, you're going to do this combo, mix up into another combo. Do you know how much time you're shaving off that you're saving on the clock, right? This is boom.
That was two. It's not just 2 seconds, because then it's bum, 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 right? Like,
right. And let's say I'm in the corner and you do that combo and I roll forward and you miss me. Now it takes you 8 seconds to chase me into the other corner. So if the time was running out,
right,
you're done.
So I've been talking about this with Viserius a lot, a SoCal player, and he really likes the same kind of idea. I got it from him actually, and he said that so far when he's been playing, his matches end pretty fast. Sometimes he doesn't win, but they tend to end pretty fast. And he in fact said that he was in tournament playing, I think it said against Dash, and that he ended the game in 20 seconds. He ended the round in 20 seconds.
Right.
Just doing this. Going in, I think his team was like Raven Hugo or Hugo Law, or it was something like that, right? So it's a really strong idea that can really help with the whole timeouts and not fun to watch factor.
Yeah, and the other thing too is that whenever you knock them down, you give the opponent time to think, roll, do a wake up uppercut into switch cancel, etc., and that lets them heal their life and all these things. And that's another reason why you want to save your meter, because your supers and team supers have no recoverable health. But at the same time, if you do these mix-ups, you might not give them the chance to know when to get that uppercut. Like that Julia setup. Even if I mash uppercut, I'm going to whiff.
You whiff.
I'm going to whiff. And then you can kill me after that. So I don't even have the chance to do a safe uppercut switch cancel, which off of a knockdown, it's very easy to have that situation, because you're not going to get a cross-up because you're too worried about the forward roll. So that damage is just not going to happen.
And another thing about it is that it means that you can play around with only one of the opponent's characters in. Mm-hmm. Because if you're getting your resets, if you get 2 consecutive resets with these teams, the opponent's dead.
Yeah.
And that's it. They didn't get out. Right? I mean, that's all.
Yeah,
you can't do anything. even if you end up not getting a reset and you end up in this situation right here, this is much, much better than if I had ended up with a situation that leaves me here because I did a little bit more damage.
Right.
I really think that that's a lot stronger.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I guess we're not going to have time to do any community shout-outs
Oh,
this
dang,
week.
I didn't even realize what time it was. That's crazy.
We're not going to have a chance to do a lot of community shout-outs. So
I wanted to talk about this game being 2v2 at EVO, too, but I guess we're not going to get a chance to talk about that either.
I just noticed right now that sign has dinosaur spelled wrong.
Wow, it has dinosaur spelled wrong.
Good job, testers and spell checkers. Okay, anyway,
you know what else has something spelled wrong is the stage that has like the big El Fuerte poster in the background. It has I forget what the word is, but something in Spanish is spelled wrong there too.
Well, we can't expect them to
Dude,
know the Spanish.
They're not getting English either. It's not like they're spell testing, dude. Like, they're just putting it on there.
Okay, fair enough.
Whatever.
But I mean, we do have to cut it short because Cross Counter is coming up right now, and they actually have a pretty important announcement, and so we don't want to take away their time.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what that announcement is going to be, actually.
I think I know what it is, so you're definitely going to want to tune in.
Okay.
You're definitely going to want to tune in.
All right, so make sure that you tune in to the Steve show with Mike and Ryan. That's going to be on the stream.tv or YouTube/something. YouTube.com/thestream.tv.
I think so. But you can find it on the stream.tv's website.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, okay. So anyway, that should be starting approximately immediately. Thanks a lot for watching with us today. Sorry we didn't do the shows last night. We were at NCR. I got back late.
Right. You drove 8 hours.
So expect us back next Monday at 8 p.m. Pacific time. Also Tuesday, 8 o'clock Pacific time. Also, please look out on youtube.com/UltraChenTV where we'll be putting up this video as soon as possible.
All right. Thanks everybody.